Well, hello. Welcome to the first tea time in our house. What a month since I last sat down for one of these little chats with you guys. Today's tea is a bit more of a latte. I sometimes like to switch out my coffee lattes for more of a tea latte, and one of the teas that I love brewing in a latte version is a rooibos. I don't know, however you say it. I like to say rooibos. It's really delicious. You just brew the tea, put it in here with your milk that I like to make frothy, and we've been buying like an almond milk or an oat milk creamer, and it's a little bit sweet, so it makes it really warm and delish, and I sprinkled some cinnamon on top to make it extra yum. A quick update on life is everything has been really good, although in waves of good, up and down. You know how life is when things are stressful, especially moving into this new house. It was very, very intense to come here and move the stuff in and work on cleaning for like 2 weeks straight, and family coming to visit and trying to keep up with work and finding Azalea some sort of a school and everything so that we could have some sort of routine. Things have kind of found a little bit of their flow. They're still a bit rough and choppy and bumpy and all over the place, but things are coming together really, really nicely, and I'm excited for this spring season to be upon us. This tea is delish, by the way. I hope you have your tea with you, and shoot in the message down below, or in the comments rather, what kind of tea you guys like to enjoy when you sit down for these little chats. I wanted to talk today about change and everything that's been happening, because on our end of the world, we've obviously, as you've been following, going through so much change, from being in Mexico to driving across the country to now being in a home that we own. It's about to undergo a bunch of renovations, and that's also a big change. And Azalea's in school, and just routine is slightly different, and so there's just so much change present in our lives, and I thought I'd tap into my thoughts on change and how we've been trying to sort of embrace them, because it's so important to embrace them, otherwise you end up really struggling, I feel. I found myself in a constant evolution of who I am and myself within this like realm of change and the constant flow that happens in life that takes you through your journey. And I've just been really mindful, I guess, to look to myself and reminisce and kind of discover who I used to be, and remember where I was and how I've evolved into be who I am now today. And that's all a part of the change that comes with each year that passes. I think it's really cool as viewers that you guys get to follow along and see us evolve and transition and become different people as we grow into more true versions of ourselves. And so, yeah, I guess we're just over here embracing change, and I wanted to share more on, I guess, everything that you're probably noticing as a viewer, things that have been shifting with the channel, and how we've just been allowing all of this to kind of unveil itself into being what it eventually will become, which is still somewhat unclear, but the path is kind of, we're weed whacking the path, you know. So there's a little bit more clarity. But the biggest thing you might have noticed, and I've seen a bunch of comments, that Justin isn't so much on the YouTube channel as he used to be. And I guess let me start at the very beginning, because this channel, as I had mentioned before, it used to be my channel, Moonflower Child channel, and I had started to share some videos of my journey with Meraki, my old boutique bus, as a way to market and advertise and put my work out into the world. And eventually it kind of picked up a little steam. I only had maybe 1,000 or so followers, and then Justin came on board when we started renovating the red pepper bus, and we were doing that project together, and so innately we were in the videos together, and we were both kind of being responsible to pick up the camera and document and share and put ourselves together out there on the YouTube channel. And so we ended up changing the channel name to the Vagabond Caravan. We were going to travel with both buses at one point and go around the US and make money with Moonflower Child Boutique, selling at festivals, and meanwhile living in the other bus. When we sold the Meraki bus, we realized that we were no longer a Vagabond Caravan because we only had one vehicle in our caravan. So we changed our channel name to just be our names, Justin and Juby, and I guess we put ourselves in the realm of couple YouTubers, you know, where you have the two people that are the face of the channel. And over the last few months, Justin and I have been realizing the kind of transformation that we've been going through behind the scenes. Justin has requested, I guess, that he just doesn't want to be on camera as much, feels to be more private, and doesn't really enjoy the responsibility of being creative in the film world, thinking about how the YouTube video is going to play out and all the things that come with being a YouTuber. Those things just don't inspire him the same way working with bees or other things do. And for me, I also found that there was some friction between the vision that I had and the difficulty that I had to relay the vision to him. I'm so visual and he's not, and so having those two kind of worlds were very difficult to coincide together. We also found that, you know, I had certain expectations of him, hoping that he would help contribute to film and picking up the camera, me not be always responsible to take on what felt like a burden of filming. I don't want it to come across like Justin is, you know, he's like deported and not a part of the videos and like all this kind of stuff, because he's still a part of the videos when I can catch him on camera. But it is now my responsibility to film and come up with content and create videos that inspire me and hopefully you. And that was also another part of why Justin decided to step back a bit, was to give me the freedom and creative space to create something that perhaps didn't fit the mold of this Justin and Juby YouTube channel, being like constantly family vlogs, bus excursions or travel adventures. I think we realized that that just wasn't the direction that we were wanting to go after having done it for so long, and that I wanted to be able to create videos and inspiring content like these tea times, and having a channel that was our channel was just stifling that opportunity for creativity. I really wanted to respect Justin's wishes for him to be more off camera, more private, and I also really found more peace and enjoyment in creating content that was not so family based and keeping a portion of that to ourselves and not always having to expose all of our family situations. When Justin and I were really going through a hard time, a big part of it was because we were constantly talking about business things and we weren't taking the time to prioritize our relationship. And then we had to create a YouTube video because we had a sponsor or something, and it was just difficult to be positive and uplifting and be our true selves when we, you know, weren't feeling happy together as a couple. And so coming to the camera and having to put on a face just felt really inauthentic. And so realizing that we wanted to kind of make a shift and separate the two worlds of business and like play, and find more privacy and time to just appreciate and soak up life in the moment instead of always having to feel obligated to document. And that was something that I also was really struggling with, this constant world of social media and YouTube and all this stuff, this need and expectation to constantly share your life, when sometimes you just want to live in the moment and watch happy experiences together, like Azalea running and smiling and being with friends. You just want to collect these memories for yourself and not feel like you have to share them and put them on Instagram or YouTube. So finding that separation and Justin pulling back all allowed me to be able to sit down and film and have moments like this with you guys and not always rely on family experiences like this. In me taking on this sort of challenge that I'm really both nervous but incredibly excited about, it's a separation of business and play for our relationship between me and Justin, and it's been really healthy to kind of sever the two. Justin still helps with behind the scenes sponsorships and that side of the business, invoicing and QuickBooks and any type of contractor chat emailing with people like the graphic designers that we work with and our editor. He deals with all those things, so he's still a part of the business, but when it comes to the creative space and the way that I get to plan and create content, what we film, what we share, and how we film it, that's all my responsibility. And I'm really excited to kind of take my 3 to 5 year plan and just share it more with you guys, share more lifestyle content and stories of our journey through life, through kind of curated stories of what's happening, and things like what I enjoy, being crafty and working in my studio once we do the renovations, but like sharing more about jewelry making and any DIY projects, creating stencils for, you know, wallpaper designs and home renovations and styling the space and thrifting and being crafty to reupholster things, and just all the things that I had mentioned in a few tea times ago about just what my future 3-year plan was going to be. Just wanting to share more of that kind of content with you all. Wellness and yoga and breath work and gardening and herbalism and making apothecary products. I found that it was difficult to be a production facility selling products through Moonflower Child, but I wanted to still create and share those kinds of recipes and ingredients that I was using to make the products for myself. So sharing more of the recipes for the products that I make so that you too can like DIY your own products at home and learn more about herbalism and things that I also really love. So it's just a cool way to kind of create community and connect with you guys and share all these things without having to have it impact our world personally. And it'll just be a really fun, exciting project, and I'm really like just can't wait, I don't know, to keep getting into this world of Moonflower Child, I guess. And this comes the big change, so I hope you're ready. Before I get into that, I wanted to give a big shout out to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. So if you guys are wanting to create your own website, then Squarespace can be a really great platform to start and plan out what your future website could be. It's got a lot of freedom as far as the design templates that you can use, as well as it has a design panel where you can edit fonts and colors, animations, and any padding, and make it really look unique to you and your style. If you aren't sure what kind of website you want, but you know you want a blog and future opportunity for selling products, then Squarespace is really diverse for all kinds of different ways that you can utilize your website, from blogs and selling products to portfolio sharing and memberships and just so much more. While you're working on the website, so that you can be previewing it before you publish it, you can have a lock page so that no one else will see your website before you're ready to publish. When you are finally ready to publish, you can check the link in the description below to get 10% off your first website or domain and get that thing out into the world so that other people can learn more about you, be a part of your journey, and help sustain your small business and whatever it is that you're trying to put online. So big shout out, thanks again Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. Okay, so you guys know that I have been working on this coloring book and things have kind of come to a standstill for right now, and I've actually pushed the launch date twice now. It actually was supposed to be already available, but I was feeling very clouded and foggy about certain things, especially when it came to the branding and how I was gonna put that product out into the world and who it was gonna be by. I didn't feel like it fit with the Justin and Juby branding, and especially with everything that had been going on behind the scenes and discussions of kind of severing our two worlds, and Justin having his beekeeping space and then me having this creative space to share content and products with you guys. It didn't feel right to brand it as a Justin and Juby product, especially since it was primarily something that I've been working on from within. I've really just had such an amazing opportunity to learn so much about myself and my future hopes and goals with Moonflower Child through working on this coloring book. I've been moving a lot through all these kinds of transitions of being in all these different places that we've been, Mexico and the bus and the house, and it's allowed me to really hone in patience for not forcing something to be put out into the world before it's ready, and just like really allowing myself the time and energy and just space that it really deserves to be well thought out before publishing, I guess. I've got a mantra that I have in my mind for the coloring book, and it's to ground, grow, and bloom. And that's really been sticking with me, and the idea of being able to bloom and wanting to achieve that level of bloom, which you might see like, you know, bigger corporations or companies or inspirational people that you look up to, see them as like fully bloomed and that they've reached their full capabilities of being just their best version of who they are. But I think it's important to know that we're always going through this cycle of rebirth. As with any cycle that comes in nature and the seasons, winter is an opportunity to really ground and hibernate and transition your thought and your mindset, and then eventually kind of grow into a bloom through the spring and summer. And so I've really allowed myself to focus and hone in that grounding, which you've seen me do my yoga and my breath work, and just try and find ways to remind myself to slow down, to just like not constantly race through life, but just take it easy and remember that day by day there's more opportunity to kind of experience all kinds of things, and that will allow you to have a more stable grounding in order for your bloom to be more beautiful and more vibrant, I guess. It's an opportunity for you to really rediscover your passions and things that you love and who you are. Figure out what you like to do when it's dark early during the winter and you're stuck inside more. Sometimes you could get bored and end up just watching TV and life just passes. And I think sometimes it's important to go into a state of research and grounding and discovery of who and what you enjoy to do. All this takes time, obviously, and patience, because sometimes it's difficult to open up to your own self, and it can be hard to learn more about yourself because you are so shut down, or you do have previous trauma or struggles or anxieties, or just like a lack of willingness to open up to rediscover who you have the potential to become. But through all that, obviously, are your beautiful roots that are grounding you, keeping you stable and focused, and giving you purpose to like continue to grow and bloom. I've been watching myself through my evolution of Moonflower Child and where it used to be over 10 years ago now, and where it kind of ended a couple years ago. And I realized that through Moonflower Child, it really was a place where I found deep purpose. I found meaning in life, and I found a way to project and put out my passions into the world, and people resonated with that and enjoyed being a part of it. And I enjoyed meeting and collaborating and inspiring and just being creative with others through the world of Moonflower Child. So with that being said, I'm working on rebirthing Moonflower Child, you guys. I can't even believe I'm saying that. I'm currently chatting with a graphic designer, looking over this new graphic designer, Felicia's work. I really found a lot of beauty in what she created that would resonate well with Moonflower Child, and really thought that it would be cool to have her work on a rebrand project for that business. We've been working on some of these cool logo designs, just the initial phase of figuring out what is the best fit and the best vibe. It was important to have a logo that separated the name from the icon. I struggled with the previous branding for Moonflower Child, that the icon was the name, and while it was a beautiful drawing that I had done, I wanted to be able to separate the two for all kinds of different reasons, whether it be swing tags or stamps or icons for social media or YouTube channel logos and channel headers, things like that. I'm excited. They're all really beautiful. I wanted something more modern that resonated with the brand as it was. I wanted to be able to utilize this logo in various ways, whether it be in podcast form, Instagram, TikTok form, YouTube, any type of branding for in-person merch or products, things that are like shipped or mailed to you, for like the coloring book and all that kind of stuff. So that's really exciting, but it's also through this growth and change, I'm having to really let go of what used to be something that was a reality in my past life, and give space for this new version of what the brand is going to be and how I fit in with that mold, and how it's growing with who I am as a person. Yeah, I thought about changing the name of the business, and I came up with a really cool one that I really liked called Moon Alchemia. I just liked those words together, really, I thought it was beautiful. But when I was talking with Felicia, she helped me to kind of see the brand name in a new light. One of the big reasons why I wanted to change the brand name was because of the word child. And a lot of people thought like I was making kids clothing or the brand was for kids. And the reason the word child is in Moonflower Child is because it refers to your inner child. As any human, we all have this inner child within us. And the flower child is that sort of bohemian earth baby or whatever. And the moon is the mystery of the night, the romance, the creativity, the cycles, the waves and motions that we go through in life. And the child is that reflection of who you are inside. And it's also this way of reminding yourself of the freedom that you used to have and experience as a child, and not to lose that, because I think all adults have that playful kind of child energy inside of them, but as we get older we're kind of taught to subdue our characteristics and mellow or wild child energy. And I think that that's just what makes each individual so incredibly powerful, when you can still reach back into that world of your inner child and bring it into your today sight, mindset, vision, perspective, the way you see and think and absorb life. I think that's just a really magical thing to be able to have the power to do. And so that's a big reason why the word child is a part of Moonflower Child, and Felicia really helped me to see that more clearly. And so it's so cool to collaborate with people because they help give you outside perspectives, opinions, thoughts, and viewpoints that you might not see yourself. And so for whatever reason that word was always in Moonflower Child, but I wasn't ever able to fully see the true meaning of incorporating that word in the business name Moonflower Child. Through all of this change and grounding and growth, obviously comes your bloom. It's your beauty, it's your wisdom, it's the age that shows all these true colors of who you are and what you've learned and how unique you've grown to become. It's the reiterations of who you've been in your past life, and each year how you grow and change into something more beautiful every year as you learn and become your truer, most wisest self. You know, I'm not the same person I was 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 3 years ago even. Like last year I was a different person. I see myself in my past in my 20s, and I remember so many incredible moments and live for them in my mind. But who I am now is what's most important. To go back and relive and be that person again, I wouldn't take it back, because I would want to be this person. I would want to be where I am now. And that person got me to where I am today and allows me to see life the way I do. And so I'm grateful for all the change and the versions of myself that I've been, because that has inspired me to just continue to grow and bloom and become just like a bushel of flowers. We all have one life, so if something isn't feeling right in your world right now, I encourage you to just sit down and kind of figure it out with yourself. See what change could be made and why, and how it could affect your day-to-day and your perspective on life, and seek out what really brings you joy. Don't waste any time being stuck where you are, and seize the day and make the changes that you want in your life. Because when you see that inspirational person out there and you're like, oh, she lives a great life, or he lives a great life, and you dream to be like them or have their life, you don't know the struggle that they have been through in grounding and growing and all the hard work and perseverance and everything that they've done to reach the level of life and place that they are in the present moment. You have to do the same. You have to dig deep within you and figure out what change and what passion and what drives you and what excites you, and seize those things and change your ways to be able to bloom into the person that you could only dream to be, because you have the potential and it is possible. So with that being said, spring is basically here. By the time you see this video, spring is here, and it's a season of blossoming. It's a season of smells and romance and It's such a beautiful time of year, especially after kind of taking time from winter where you're hibernating and rethinking your life and, you know, taking time to visualize how the new year could be and just preparing yourself for the season ahead. It's a cool time of year. While it can be grueling and hard, it is what makes spring so magical, is having been through hardship to be able to have the reward of freedom and running and growing and blooming and just all the things, following the wind. If you are going through change right now, I just want to encourage you to embrace the change and let it go as it's gonna go. It can be hard and challenging, and I definitely think that we have been through a lot of challenging times in the last few months, through so much change and transition. But at the end of the day, when I look back, it's just a blessing. It's allowing us to really become better versions of ourselves. It's allowing us to learn from our mistakes and experience new life paths, you know? Just be patient with yourself and be patient with everything around you. Sometimes change takes longer than you might expect, so just be patient and time will eventually tell, and you'll have the opportunity to be in this new space that you're dreaming of, that you're creating in your mind and aspiring to be at or become. That's all, folks. I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. There's so much change on the horizon for this channel and for our house, and I'm sure you guys are all going through a world of change as well. So I just want to wish you all well. I hope you have a wonderful week, a wonderful day, a wonderful next few hours, whatever is to come. Happy hump day.